What's going on, everyone? Logical Cinéphile again. Today's review, I'm going to be doing about hitting a Jesus bomb. Um, and I'm going to be covering the film Hard Candy, starring Elliot Page and Patrick Wilson. Sandra Oh is in there as well, but she's got a bit part, so, there's not really much to say about her. Um, so the film follows Elliot Page's character, Haley, and Patrick Wilson's character, I can't remember his name now. And starts out, I guess, innocently enough. Well, not so innocently enough. With a text conversation or a chat conversation between Haley and her would-be abductor. So the next scene, goes through, and dude's waiting for her. Patrick Wilson is waiting for her at the coffee shop, and he buys this cake and all this different stuff, and they're like talking about books and they're talking about music and all this and everything like that. He invites her back to his house. She's obviously underage. Well, it's at first thought that she's underage. And basically he starts making her drinks, and she wants to do a photo shoot because he plays this photographer or whatever. And she makes a drink for him, and he passes out, and then he wakes up and he's like tied to a chair. And she's going around and she's looking for, whatever picture she's looking for, obviously, of this girl that's gone missing. And basically the entire movie is spent torturing this guy. Now, it comes to light that he's still in love with his ex, and his ex was the first person, he kind of took pictures for, and he's kind of trying to relive out this fantasy with her and everything like that, but he's basically running an underground, underage, adult film industry. And, that's about the nicest way that I can say it without, kind of demonetizing myself. Even though I'm not monetized yet, and I don't have but like 2 subscribers. But a fight ensues at one point because he kind of gets, free of the chair. She electrocutes him. And then there's this part where she's going to go and basically she goes to castrate him. And she has him on this table, and she performs the surgery and goes and puts things in the garbage disposal. And he winds up getting off the table, and he finds out that she didn't actually perform the castration. Basically what she did was use this medical tape that showed it. This girl gets brutal on him. You think he gets the upper hand every now and again, but she always winds up, electrocuting him with the taser that she has. Right before she's done, she types up this thing while she's on the phone with whoever, be it her sister or her friend, talking about going to the movies and stuff after she's done. Um, it's not known, and I will kind of postulate on some theories about this. Um, but come to find out, she figures out the safe combination, finds all the the pictures that he has of underage girls and all that sort of stuff, and you know she calls his ex girlfriend the one that he's obsessed with. Um, she winds up going to hide. She hides up on the roof, and when he gets up there, there's a noose that's attached to what I'm assuming is an exhaust fan of some sort, or an exhaust vent of some sort. And she tells him that if he jumps off and commits commits an act of, and I'm not going to say this word either, but basically if he jumps off and makes like he's in the gallows, um, that essentially she'll erase everything and she'll tell his ex-girlfriend won't know and he'll die with some dignity. And he's not going to do it at first. At first he's reluctant to do it until he hears a car coming, and it turns out to be his ex, who she has called. Actually, she has emailed her and called her as a detective. And so he jumps off the roof, and then she makes it known to him that she's just kidding. And then she disappears into the woods, and this little tale of Little Red Riding Hood is over. Patrick Wilson being, of course, the big bad wolf, and well, Elliot Page being the big bad wolf in the disguise of Little Red Riding Hood. And the film ends. She's running into the the forest, and film ends. Now, to postulate some theories on this, and I know I haven't hit this in a minute because kind of stoned still. There are some theories going around about this, that she's not underage at all, that she is underage, that she's basically just as vigilante, which she is. My theory is that the underage girl in question, the one that went missing, was one of her friends. And I don't know, because the whole film is left ambiguous, as you can tell with everything they've done so far. The Blair Witch Project, Michael versus Jason, evil emerges. There's always this ambiguous ending. I wore a Clockwork Orange shirt on the first one, And that's another film that had an ambiguous ending, which I will do a movie review of. But I think that she is, I do think that she is underage. I just think that she's also, um, with her, I think that she exhibits some signs of having Asperger's, also being a complete and total fucking sociopath. Um, 100% out of her gourd, but 100% brilliant nonetheless. Haley is a force to be reckoned with. We don't even know if that's her real name. We don't know if the person on the other end of the line knows anything about what she's doing. I'm assuming that they do, because I'm assuming it's one of the other, friends, or maybe even her sister, and they're in on it because they find out that this person did this to their friend. But I have given this film uh, I'll say about 4 stars. I'm stuck between 3.5 and 4 because there were some inconsistencies there. Nobody wants to imagine getting castrated, and it's the same reason that I always wince at that part in I Spit on Your Grave Part 2, where she has his balls in a vice. But I give it a 4-star review because it is just that good of a film. There's It's really, really psychological. Like, the way that she plays with this guy's head is just absolutely unchecked. Elliot Page did an incredible job as Haley. Um, and I know people are saying, "Oh, well, that had Ellen Page in it." Well, for those not in the know, Ellen has now become Elliot, so we'll respect his wishes and call him by his chosen name. Um, yeah, this film was, it's twisted, it's dark. I mean, it's not as dark as, say, like Serbian film or like Sallow or something, but it's dark for sure. But it also highlights that this stuff is actually happening. And it doesn't always have to be some creepy looking Santa Claus dude like from Happy, or some weird BDSM fly dressing, foppish looking TV children's actor. It can be someone you least expect. So I believe bringing that level of awareness to those type of situations is 100%, it's good stuff. And getting to see what happens to him in the end, because I think another way that this film kind of plays with the audience is that there are times you want to sympathize with Patrick Wilson's character. However, you remember that he did, you think this chick is just a psychopath at first, and then it turns out that he actually did this stuff, and, you know, you're made to sympathize with him, but then the more the film goes on, you start sympathizing with him a lot less. I mean, you're really unsympathetic of him at first. It's just the back and forth of the whole thing, and the tension that's added by Sandra Oh's character playing the nosy neighbor. Um, I there are so many times that Haley almost gets caught. And we'll go with that name for now, because like I said, I don't actually think that it's her name. Because, I mean, why would you, right? However, I think this film is really well made. and it was made back in '08, I think. '06 or '08, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and I feel that the nuances in the film were, I mean, it was totally done in genius. Like I said, you're off and on kind of rooting for Patrick Wilson, but you're off and on kind of rooting for Elliot Page, and it's complete cluster fuck if I ever saw one. Um, so yeah, 4 stars, hard candy. If you haven't seen it, once again, I forgot the spoiler alert at the beginning of it. So, spoiler alert, TLDR. Um, yeah, 4 stars. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it already. I mean, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Um, anyway, that's it for me. And Logical Cinephile out.